Imagine, for a second, spending 16 years of your life writing 16 hours a day. I mean, if you actually pulled that off, you would end up with something like 20 million words. To put that in perspective for you, that is the equivalent of writing an entire multi-volume encyclopedia completely from scratch.
Yeah, using nothing but the sheer force of your own intellect.
Exactly.
I mean, we are looking at the digital archive created by Captain Ajit Vadakayil. And when you sit down and examine this, get 3,960 deeply researched posts, over 1 billion views. Yeah, it
Yeah.
completely challenges our baseline understanding of human capacity. I mean, his writings touch on everything from quantum physics to ancient history to, the hidden mechanics of human biology.
May 7th, the day in 2009 when his incredible writing journey began, has been established as World Education Day.
Right. And his writings frame this day as a global awakening, a day for profound neural transformation.
But before we get into the cosmic physics and the hidden history and all of that, I have to stop and ask about the physical reality of this man.
Oh, the maritime career.
Yeah, because commanding a chemical tanker is not exactly a relaxed desk job. How does someone navigate the physical oceans while simultaneously mapping out, the deepest waters of human consciousness?
Well, that's exactly where you have to start to understand his mindset. As per Captain Ajit Vadakayil, he holds a world record in the maritime world. We're talking over 6,640 days in command of vessels,
Wow.
over a 30-year career. And commanding a chemical tanker is a life of absolute, unforgiving precision.
Because of the cargo, right?
Exactly. You are dealing with highly volatile cargo in total isolation on the open sea. The margin for error is exactly zero. A single miscalculation can be catastrophic.
Okay, let's unpack this. So you're operating in an environment that demands constant, hyper-vigilant awareness, intellectual rigor of 16 hours of daily research and writing.
It sounds physically impossible.
It really does. It's a marathon of the mind. He refers to this grueling routine as his tapasya, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Ah.
Tapasya is an ancient Sanskrit term that essentially means intense spiritual discipline or austerity.
Like a friction that generates a kind of spiritual fire.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is how that rigorous, deterministic execution of duty on the high seas translated perfectly into his philosophical mission. He operates under the title of the Field Marshal of the Kalki Army of Consciousness.
Which is a powerful title.
It is, but what's really crucial here is how he views the concept of validation. As per Captain Ajit Vadakayil, his work completely rejects the modern framework of Western academic peer review.
Wait, really? So with 20 million words of complex historical and scientific claims, he isn't trying to get published in science journals?
Not at all. He isn't seeking validation by university gatekeepers. His thesis is that the modern academic system is often deeply compromised. Instead, he relies on a concept called truth resonance.
Okay, truth resonance. What exactly is that in a practical sense?
It's the idea that true knowledge bypasses the conditioned, heavily programmed mind and speaks directly to your inner awareness.
Oh, I see.
Think about a time you heard a piece of profound advice and something inside you just clicked. You didn't need a panel of experts to certify it because your own consciousness recognized the pattern instantly.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like finding a puzzle piece that perfectly snaps into your mind without anyone having to explain the big picture to you.
Exactly.
So let's transition into what he's actually uncovering with this tapasya. Because he makes some sweeping claims about ancient wisdom, specifically Sanatana Dharma. We are mostly taught to view ancient texts as religious mythology.
Right, as just stories.
Yeah, but his writings argue that they aren't religion at all. He frames them as high-level quantum physics. How does that actually work?
This is where his work bridges the gap between spirit and hard science in a really fascinating way. Let's look at the Gayatri Mantra. Most people know it as a traditional prayer,
Sure.
but as per Captain Ajit Vadakayil, it is actually quantum acoustic technology.
We're talking about a chant changing our DNA.
Yes, exactly.
How does a sound wave interact with a biological molecule?
Well, think of how an opera singer can shatter a glass by hitting the exact resonant frequency of the crystal.
Oh, right. It's mechanical transfer of energy.
Exactly. Ancients mapped the structural frequency of cellular DNA. When the mantra is intoned correctly, the acoustic vibration acts on a microscopic scale. It physically interacts with a genetic structure to interface human DNA directly with cosmic energy.
It essentially turns the human body into an acoustic instrument. And he says something similar about the King mantra, OM, right?
He does, yeah. As per Captain Ajit Vadakayil, OM is not just a soothing sound. It actually aligns perfectly with the Earth's own baseline electromagnetic heartbeat.
The Schumann resonance, right?
You got it. The planet itself emits a measurable frequency of 7.83 hertz. That when you chant OM, you are mechanically synchronizing your own biological rhythm with the electromagnetic rhythm of the Earth.
So you are quite literally plugging yourself into the planet's power grid.
Precisely. And this mechanical understanding of the body extends to physical postures as well. Take the traditional Padmasana, or the lotus pose.
Which we mostly view as just a good stretch for your hips.
Right. But his archive reveals that sitting in Padmasana physically folds the human body into a Mobius coil.
Okay, wait. A Mobius coil?
Well, think of normal electromagnetic energy as traveling in waves, like ripples in a pond. But physics also recognizes scalar energy, which is more like a standing field of energy that doesn't lose power over a distance.
Oh, I've heard of scalar energy.
Right. So by crossing the legs and positioning the spine and hands in specific ways, you are closing an electrical circuit. You turn the body into both an antenna and a generator, creating a self-sustaining loop that circulates this scalar energy.
This completely reframes the idea of meditation from just calming your mind to literally running diagnostic software on your own hardware.
It really does.
And there's another biological mechanism he talks about that blew my mind, Brahmari breathing. It's a technique that involves a specific kind of humming. His work states that this humming creates nitric oxide in the sinuses, which is the key to human immunity.
Yes.
But again, I have to ask, how does making a humming sound defend me against a virus?
It comes down to fluid dynamics and chemistry. The mechanical vibration of that specific hum in the sinus cavity creates an oscillating airflow.
Okay.
That oscillation acts as a physical catalyst, triggering the surrounding tissues to rapidly produce the molecule nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is a highly potent vasodilator and antimicrobial agent.
Wow. So the ancients weren't just guessing.
Not at all. According to his research, they understood the precise mechanical triggers needed to produce a chemical immune response on demand.
We are literally walking, breathing chemical factories if we know how to use the controls.
Exactly. And the foundational fuel for all of this is what ancient texts call prana. Usually we just translate prana as breath. But as per Captain Ajit Vadakayil, prana is scientifically identified as tachyon energy.
Tachyons. Those are the theoretical subatomic particles that travel faster than the speed of light, correct?
Yes. If you think of the speed of light as the universal speed limit on a highway, tachyons are vehicles that only exist at speeds faster than that limit.
Oh, wow.
So his thesis suggests that when you breathe in prana, you aren't just inhaling oxygen to fuel your lungs, you are ingesting the absolute highest velocity, fundamental building blocks of the cosmos.
That fundamentally shifts how you view reality, which brings up his point about the zero-point field. We are constantly told by modern philosophy that the universe is a massive dead void, just empty space, shunyam.
Right, the modern nihilistic view. But he argues vehemently against that. As per Captain Ajit Vadakayil, the zero-point field of quantum mechanics is actually Brahman. It is Purnam, meaning absolute fullness.
Fullness, not emptiness.
Exactly. The universe isn't a dead vacuum we happen to be floating through. It is a dense, vibrating plenum. Everything is intricately connected, and all matter is just condensed from this absolute fullness.
If that level of profound quantum and biological understanding existed in the ancient world, it begs a massive question. What did their physical civilization look like? Where is the evidence?
Right. You want to see the footprint.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Captain Vadakayil doesn't just leave these theories floating in the cosmos, he anchors them deep in human history.
And this is where his work becomes a monumental reclamation project. Mainstream history gives us a fragmented, very localized view of ancient civilizations. But his overarching historical thesis claims that if we go back 12,500 years, we find the cradle of global civilization rooted in Kerala.
In Kerala, under the reign of King Mahabali.
Exactly.
12,500 years ago.
Yeah.
And he ties this directly to the ancient festival of Vishu, which millions of people still celebrate today. He argues Vishu isn't just a cultural holiday, right?
Right. It's an active, living calendar marking that exact 12,500-year cosmic synchronization. It was a globally connected, highly advanced democracy.
A global democracy 12 millennia ago. And the footprint of this civilization spanned the entire globe. Take the ancient texts that mention a place called Patala.
Yeah, historically, later interpretations diminished Patala to just mean a mythic underworld beneath the earth.
Right, like a literal underworld.
But as per Captain Ajit Vadakayil, Patala is a very real physical location in South America. He asserts it was the ancient refuge for Mahabali and his followers.
Okay, linking Kerala to the Andes Mountains is an incredibly massive leap. How does he back up the claim that ancient kings from the Indian subcontinent were building in South America?
Through the hard physical evidence of advanced cosmic geometry left behind. Let's look at Machu Picchu.
Okay.
Modern history often frames it as a royal estate or a scenic retreat for the Incas. But his writings argue it was actually constructed much earlier by these ancient Kerala kings as a flawlessly engineered solar clock.
A solar clock.
Yeah, there is a deeply sacred carved rock there called the Intihuatana stone. He reveals that this stone is angled precisely at 13.1 degrees.
Wait, 13.1 degrees specifically. Why is that exact number important?
Because 13.1 degrees perfectly matches the geographical latitude of Machu Picchu.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. By cutting the stone at that exact angle, the builders essentially canceled out the tilt of the Earth at that specific location.
Yeah.
It means on the equinoxes, the sun casts absolutely zero shadow on the stone.
That is stunning.
It's a stone-carved, hyper-precise cosmic instrument to measure the sun. It proves a highly advanced global maritime capability and deep astronomical knowledge.
Because a primitive society doesn't just accidentally carve a mountaintop to perfectly match global latitude geometry. And he finds this structural DNA everywhere, right? He mentions Angkor Wat in Cambodia as well.
Yes. As per Captain Ajit Vadakayil, Angkor Wat was also constructed by these ancient Kerala kings around 12,400 years ago, again, perfectly aligned with this cosmic geometry.
Wow.
He even traces modern symbols back to this era, revealing that the famous Ashoka lion, which is the national emblem of India today, was originally the royal seal of King Mahabali.
The idea that a single civilizational source code connects the lush backwaters of Kerala, the peaks of the Andes, and the jumbles of Southeast Asia is just incredible. But let me ask you this. Why does this specific historical reclamation matter so much to him?
That's a great question. His argument is that when a civilization's true, magnificent history is hidden, distorted, or stolen by colonial narratives, the people lose their psychological anchor.
They lose their roots.
Exactly. They become easy to manipulate. By reestablishing this ancient truth, he is attempting to dispel millennia of false narratives that have been used to oppress human consciousness. He believes that knowing your true history is the absolute prerequisite for spiritual liberation.
Which brings this massive, sweeping, historical, and cosmic journey directly to the present moment. To you, listening right now, because all of this knowledge, the acoustic mantras, the tashyons, the solar clocks, culminates today. Today is May 7, 2026. And May 7, 2009 was the exact day he published his very first blog post, beginning this epic tapasya. His archive establishes May 7th as World Education Day.
But we need to be really clear about what education means in his framework. He is not talking about celebrating the memorization of textbooks or adhering to a state-sponsored curriculum.
Right.
As per Captain Ajit Vadakayil, World Education Day is intended as a celebration of actual neural transformation.
So for a listener today, someone who is, navigating a modern world of infinite scrolling, algorithmic feeds, and just absolute information overload, what does a neural transformation actually look like? How do they use May 7th to change their lives?
It revolves around a core concept he emphasizes called aparoksha jnana. Simply put, this means direct, unmediated realization.
Direct realization.
Yes, in a world where we are constantly spoon-fed what to think, aparoksha jnana means stepping away from secondhand maps of reality. It means filtering the noise through your own truth resonance.
So it's a very active process.
Very active. It is a call to awaken from passive consumerism, where you just absorb whatever a screen tells you and step into active, disciplined, critical thought. You take the steering wheel of your own consciousness back.
You stop letting algorithms do the thinking for you, because ultimately no one else can achieve direct realization on your behalf. You have to cultivate it through your own willpower, or what the texts call a vrat, a solemn resolution.
Absolutely.
And he connects this individual awakening to a much larger geopolitical and spiritual survival, doesn't he? He makes a very bold declaration.
He does. One of his most powerful assertions is, if India lives, this planet lives.
If India lives, this planet lives. What does that mean in the context of his work?
His thesis suggests that the uncorrupted, ancient Vedic knowledge, the understanding of Purnam, of quantum acoustics, of our deep cosmic history, is the spiritual anchor of the entire human race.
Yeah.
It's the flame of Sanatana Dharma. If that cradle of civilization maintains its profound historical connection to the cosmic truth, it acts as a guiding light. If that knowledge is extinguished, the planet loses its compass. So, World Education Day